All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 115, 2024, Week 14 review, Week 15 previews. Plus, are the Lions too injured? I mean, they're good, but we'll get into it. All good things as we don't talk about my Bears at all. I am currently wearing an Iowa Hawkeye sweatshirt until my team decides to show up for a game. But you can find me as we get started on NFL Outdated on Twitter, X, on YouTube. You can find us here on Wednesdays at 9:30 CST. You can also find us on the Freezin #4 pod on TikTok. And as we get started, Rhino, where can we find you, sir?
Vikings Uncensored on Facebook and YouTube, at Vikes Uncensored on the Twitter chain.
Very good. Definitely like and subscribe. It kind of sounded a little bit like Max Headroom for us old heads there. So I don't know what we'll figure it out here, the audio. Because my IT person's a Bears fan, so probably messed with it a little bit. Ouch. Okay, well, Miles, where can we find you as we get started?
Good evening. You can find me Monday nights, 9:30 Central, streaming live on the Pack Weekly Pod. We're having a good time there. You can find us at the Packers Talk YouTube channel. Get over there, subscribe, and come hang out. Rivals welcome. We like a little trash talk when we can get it in the comments.
Always good stuff. Yes, definitely like and subscribe there. And seventh letter, you're there we go. You're ready for Christmas.
Yes, I am.
Where can everyone find you as we get started?
You can find me on seventh letter 4 on Twitter, X, same OG on Instagram and Facebook, and on Thursday nights we beat the Packers.
That is true. Let's let's get right into that then, since the Bears don't have a marquee matchup from this past week. But I'm going to give you a chance first, Miles. So the Packers fell short against shorthanded Lions, 34-31, week 14 versus those Detroit Lions. So go ahead and pass out some blame.
We got beat. The Lions are a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest observation and takeaway from how things unfolded, and I don't think it's a surprise that the opportunity seemed to be that the Lions are just as injured as they can be on the defense. I figured something eventually had to give, and y'all have truly mastered this next man up mentality. So that's tough to beat, real tough to beat. There's just, I refuse to blame the refs. I'll say that. There's bad calls in every NFL game right now.
Mm-hmm.
My message to the team, if I'm LaFleur, would be do not put yourself at the mercy of the officiating. Don't do it. So I'm going to set that aside. You're not going to hear that out of me. No blaming the refs. You can't put yourself in a situation where the refs are the difference in the outcome. It was a decent game. Like I can't really be too mad about many things. I mean, they did a lot of things well, made a couple of mistakes. You can, in a game that's that close, you can split hairs with the Christian Watson fumble or, any handful of things, you got beat. I'm not even like that mad about it. I'm disappointed, but I still think the Lions are the best team in the NFL. You get it down to the end, you lose to them by a last minute field goal. All right, well, let's go back to the board and see how we're going to beat them next time. That's
what I did hear from Chicago radio, and I've been trying to stay away from it this week, obviously, because it's pretty much fire everybody, pretty hard restart, all that stuff. I've been trying to stay away from that. So, welcome Shelby as we're getting going. We're just talking about some Packers stuff, obviously.
I'm coming in literally.
Hey, Mom.
Hello, we got
I'm coming in just to talk shit that the Vikings are going to kick your guys' asses.
We're not even there yet.
I'll be there. That's all you need to know. I will be taking lots of videos, lots of pictures. I can't wait to watch us completely slaughter you guys, and that's all I had to say before we go.
Well, I appreciate you jumping in.
That's awesome.
Hey, all I have to say is we almost won, shorthanded and everything in the last game, and so
Right.
we're Caleb Williams, superstar, is ready to explode. And hey, when you talk about division games, Bears should be 3-0. Bears should be 3-0.
Should they?
This whole should word, man.
I should have been very last.
coulda.
They sold me the wrong ticket, though.
I honestly
Bears should
feel
be
like
3-0.
the Vikings, Packers, and Lions were just like, let's just let them have a little fun. And then we end up winning because you guys actually suck. The second we try,
Oh, gosh.
Mom, come into the
love
shot
this
if you're
right
going to be here. You're
Yes,
like,
yes.
Yeah.
I say desperate people do desperate things.
oh. See, this is where I get the shit talking, bro.
So
Not my dad.
If
Dad
they-
was
if they
so
pull
chill
it
in the
out,
background.
they
So
pull
what-
it out,
what's
it's
the-
like,
So obviously you're only on a little bit. We'll talk some of the other games as well. So what's your score for this week for the Bears and Vikings game?
what do you think?
Bears 45, Vikings
28.
7.
28 to
Bears
7.
haven't scored 45 points all year. What are you talking about?
28 to 7. Vikings win, obviously.
And a Heidi
All
Ho.
right,
Wow.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Send them
That sounds
home.
about right.
All right.
He's just
all
the
right.
support in the background.
I'd say maybe 2 scores. That's about it, though.
Oh, so
28 to 10?
28-14.
Yeah, that's about
All right. All right.
Mom's being more fair.
Hey,
All
hey,
right, y'all.
I get it. Well, thanks for
Oh,
coming
are you
on.
gonna say
And
shit? Oh, I thought you were going to talk shit really quick.
oh no, I have been. Yeah, I mean, the Vikings really. I mean, Sam Darnold. He is primed for another on this roller coaster for another 3 interception game. One to obviously Jalen's going to get one. I think Kevin Byers is going to get one, and I also think our linebacker Edmonds is going to get one as well. So this whole experiment for Darnold, I'm glad you're excited for him, but he is Sam Darnold. He is Sam Darnold.
Yeah, he had
Well,
Yeah, he
perfect
is.
pass last week. So
yeah, I was going to say he had 1.5 bad games. I'll give you that. But every other game, if he wasn't Sam Darnold, would be in the talk of MVP. And that's just the truth. But since he's Sam Darnold, people don't talk about it like that. And that's fine. That's fine. Josh Allen can have it. Saquon Barkley
I'll
would
give
be
you this.
cool.
I'll give you this. You have the Vikings have the coach of the year.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I'll take that,
McConnell's kind of like
Hard to
LaFleur. He
argue
can
with.
turn any type of quarterback into anything, and he just kind
Exactly.
Yeah.
even
Kirk
that,
Cousins is proof of
of
that.
like even Sam Darnold, he can kind of resurrect him, give him a few good games.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold
I mean,
was
you
second
see-
pick in the draft.
28 touchdowns, man.
You see Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins now that he's not with KOC.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
bad. That was bad.
The decline has been embarrassing to watch.
Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins
Especially
changed
as a
and
fellow
was
Kirk
stains
stan
on
myself.
last week, so-
Yeah.
Funny how life is without a Justin Jefferson or a Diggs, a young Diggs,
Yep.
Or
Tell you
Kevin
what,
O'Connell.
though, talking about the Vikings, I mean, I am a little bit jealous overall right now, especially with the wide receivers and how they're clicking. I mean, Addison is looking like he's the real deal. It's
Yep.
the Bears are supposed to have the best wide receiver crew in the
To
entire
you.
NFL.
No
But,
one was thinking that except you. No one.
Yeah. I think
no
you were
one
on an
was
island on
saying
that
that
one.
except for you.
I'm okay being on that island. That's okay. There's plenty of margaritas on that island.
This last game was very, very fun to watch. I felt
Of
like a
course it
Lions
was.
fan for a second.
Of course it was.
All right, y'all.
All right. Well,
I'll
thanks
see
for coming
you
on, Shelby.
later.
All right.
Appreciate you
Shelby.
guys. Bye.
See ya. All right, then. Well, we had a little bit of Viking talk there, and we'll get that a little bit more here. I wanted to get back to that the Lions Packers game. Obviously, we're kind of talking about that, and you know, when you talk about the Packers, you know, with the game. Surprisingly, Chicago radio was talking about positively about the Packers and about Jordan Love, and which I don't like. I never usually talk good about Jordan Love, right? But Chicago radio was talking about how efficient Jordan Love was in this game. And they even said this was probably one of his best games that he's had this year. And just he made the good throws he needed to. He actually made some good runs when he needed to. And so I'm not ready to, you know, say much more positive about Jordan Love, but
I bet you are.
What helps is having Josh Jacobs, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So
yes.
A running back helps every quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Absolutely. I mean, 3 touchdowns out of your running back is nothing to complain about. I will say though, I'm not discouraged. I think the Packers, I mean, again, the Lions, in my opinion, are the best team in the NFL right now. You went out there and you fought them toe to toe for 4 quarters, and you know, 7th letter, you called it. Team who had the ball last ended up winning. You know, and I think the Lions also did a better job of what we talked about, which was limiting possessions by the Packers, right? I was hoping the Packers would do a better job of that. I think they took a few shots they didn't need to take and put themselves behind schedule. So if I'm nitpicking, I'm a little bit disappointed in LaFleur's play calling. I think it definitely could have been better and you know, benefited them more if he would have played a little bit more situational football, but he takes shots, man. He likes to get out there and shake things up. I think he could do a better job of setting them up. So yeah, I mean, there's things to build off of, but Jordan Love, you can tell he's feeling healthy now. You know, he's playing a lot better, certainly a lot better than he did against the Lions the first time around. A lot of factors involved in that.
He's more healthy. It's no rain.
Yeah. And no rain. Yeah. Big one.
What I like about, obviously, we only have the good fans on here. We have, definitely appreciate everyone on here, even the Packer fans like Trev and Miles and
yes, sir.
So I appreciate that about you. And when you look at some Packer fans now are, you know, obviously attacking the Lions, they're attacking the Vikings when they won the division title and saying we don't hang division banners. Right. And I just
actually the GM said that.
Yeah. It's saying we don't hang division banners. And so what I'm hearing Miles and a lot of Packer fans now is saying we went toe to toe. We were right there with them. We were almost there. And so when I hear anything about that and Packer fans, when they're like, you know, basically trying to, you know, say the Lions aren't really doing much. Hey, you know, you're not hanging almost banners in Titletown. Of course, I call it Choketown. But so you can't say anything against the Lions about that.
No.
Right? Yeah.
Well, here's what I'll say. I'll do a little cleaning up on our side of the street.
Right.
I'll clean up our side of the street a little bit. Definitely give Lions fans their due. You guys have been through decades of BS. You've been through a lot of garbage. So being where you are now, I mean, I think I'm fairly certain this is the best the Lions have been in my lifetime.
Mine too.
It's gotta be. I mean, I don't think it's hard to say that actually, but yeah. So, I mean, I'm not here to tell any Lions fan to not talk. Y'all talk. It's fine. Have fun. You can't be wrong though, in that, like, hey, y'all haven't won a Super Bowl yet. Like, it's still the regular season. Like, finish the job. But you got to feel the same way too. If I'm a Lions fan, I feel the same way. I'm like, I'm not here to win these games. At this point, we're this good. I don't care about division banners. I want a fucking Super Bowl at this point. Like, you're closer than you have ever been as a fan to a Super Bowl for your team. I just wouldn't be wrapped up in that kind of trash talk. My eyes are on the prize at that point. But I'm also kind of a superstitious trash talker, man. I feel like every time I trash talk, it always ends up coming back at me and I got to eat it. So I'm kind of particular about what I'll put out there. No, let Lions fans have their moment. Y'all have fun with it.
Well, speaking of that, having your moment, hand out your helmet stickers for this game. I'm sure you're pretty excited, seventh letter.
Yes, I am. Sorry. Helmet stickers go to my video game coach, Dan Campbell, Terrell Williams, the defensive line coach, for just putting up this arts and crafts front seven that we had. Linebackers coach Kelvin Shepard, who else? Aaron Glenn, of course. And thank you, Ben Johnson, for not giving up on the run. Just run it. No trick plays, just run it. I enjoyed that. I asked God, and he answered it. Shout out to Trevor Nowalski. Who the hell is that? Shout out to number 47, Turner. Shout out to Quan Muhammad. Shout out to Jack Campbell. Shout out to the secondary for holding up as much as they could in the first half. That was great because I knew that the Packers would begin to start getting open on us later. The fourth down at the end of the game, man. I just want to tell a little story. Okay? January 14th, 2018, the Vikings versus the Saints. 33 seconds left. Saints win the ball with Alvin Kamara on 3rd and 1. Lost 1 yard. 25 seconds left in the game. The Saints kick a field goal. 5 plays later, 61 yards to Diggs. The Minnesota Miracle is born. On that coaching staff was Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
They learned from that mistake. Jordan Love was 13 yards to throw at that point. The defense was, playing their asses off. I mean, playing up to the level that they could. But what do? Do you leave the ball in the hands of your strongest position? Or do you give it to – all we needed was a Terrion Arnold pass interference and y'all in field goal range. You understand what I'm saying? Take it into your own hands, man. And that's what he did. So listen. I have a son fighting leukemia at the moment. And I get scared all the time. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And when Dan Campbell went out there on that 4th down, I'm sitting here with my father, and I'm like, oh, he's about to go for it. Oh, Dan, don't do it. Please, don't do it, Dan. Dan, we just got, but there's a strategy to everything. You know what I'm saying? And when I was scared, the leader wasn't. And for some, it was a microcosm of my life. Like, this shit is scary going on in my life, but I can't be afraid. And he wasn't scared. And when I'm strong, my son is strong. You understand what I'm saying? So like him not being afraid when I was, and then we got the reward at the end, that shit just kind of like, man, I wanted to cry. Because it was like, it was beautiful. Like, I'm like, oh, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense, but not really. Because what if we don't get it?
So I was hearing on actually Chicago radio was talking about this about the mic'd up has come out and basically in that moment I think it was Jared Goff came and said he wanted to go for it, and I think Campbell said screw it, let's go. And so like when you have what Dan Campbell's instilled in that team from last season, they give them that confidence. So that's like that's the opposite of what Eberflus had done in those moments. It's like kind of like you empower people because you've done it before, and you give them that confidence. And so like
people don't think of Jared Goff as like a strong personality, a leader of men. You know what I mean? You think of him probably maybe a little docile, to be honest. If you look at him, but he not. He not.
No, he's a competitor, man. He's a fierce dude.
Yes.
After the interception, 13 for 13. You understand what I'm saying? Like my man like that. He just ain't. He all steak, no sizzle. You know what I mean? All steak, no sizzle.
I like that. Yeah,
it's good, strong calories, man. No fat, no nothing to make no whipped cream on top of it. It's just vanilla ice cream, and vanilla ice cream by itself is really fucking good to me. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You know what I mean? Like he is what he is. We built the team around his skill set and is very intentional. and we take risks with that vanilla person.
Mhm.
The motherfucker fell on the handoff. He's a goofball.
He is a goofball, man.
He's a goofball, but he got like a Dan Campbell built so much confidence in him where I'm not scared to go into a fight with him. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he gonna do what he told.
Did you see how some of the Packer fans were saying, "Oh, that should have been a kneel down. He should have been down," and just get out of here.
No, that's not the rule.
No,
I've been there before.
They said
It's not- he wasn't
It happened to me.
touchdown, and the only reason a QB, like when a QB kneels, the only reason that counts as being down is because he's giving himself up. Like
Correct.
if you give yourself up, then yes, you're down. But
If
that's
I was a Packer
obviously not
fan,
what was happening.
I would have been on that wave too. They cheated us.
That's why I was like, I'll let these guys fly. Like there's I get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure. And there was one that I did jump in on, and I was actually corrected, and I did not know this, but it was one of them that looked like it should have been. Oh, it was the Christian Watson where they called OPI on Christian Watson. That I did not like that call. Can it be called? Yes. What I said was the ball wasn't even close to in the air at that point. I did not realize that OPI is eligible before the ball's in the air. So
Yeah.
I was corrected on that. Totally cool with that. Cool
They
with
can
learning.
call it. They should have called. They never called it on the Patriots.
Oh
Back
yeah,
then.
they were famous for that. But I
Yes.
really don't believe that Christian Watson was even trying to block. I mean, he really looked like he was making an effort to miss that dude. But
My boy
Again,
Kirby sold that.
hey,
Love Kirby, man.
little embellishment is part of the game. You know, like what the refs see is what the refs see. You know, you
Shit,
got to
big
know
booty,
that. I
big
get
booty.
it.
The skipper fell and everything early and got up. 50-yard penalty. It's
I
big
get it.
sorry ass.
So yeah, I'm not here to make that like excuses for losing. Again, you don't put yourself at the mercy of the officiating, but yeah, there was definitely some stuff back and forth where I get why people feel the way they do. Just, have it out, get it out, and we'll get over it.
But I was right again.
You were right.
Only way we
Absolutely.
win the game is if we control the clock. Shout out to the defense, man. 1 for 4 or 5 on third down. You know what I'm saying?
With the injuries y'all have, it's great. When McNeil went down, I was like, dang, man, for sure we got to be able to do this,
We lost. But we
Next
did.
man up. Y'all did it.
Lions, every single week. And another team that seems now to keep performing every week, even though I keep doubting them. Those Vikings, somehow they dominated the Cousins Bowl, even though
Kirk Cousins. Fuck Kirk Cousins.
I was watching the game actually at the gym. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch part of this at the gym. And I saw that interception that Ty, basically Ty goes to the offense. They caught it. And
that's still an interception. 2 hands by the defender and 1 hand by the receiver does not equal simultaneous possession.
Well, so I was hoping that would be the turning point for Kirk Cousins, and obviously that wasn't. So go ahead and give out.
The turning point of that game was when Dallas Turner flattened Kirk Cousins out midway through the first quarter. Kirk Cousins not the same after that.
Bro, Kirk Cousins got 1 turnaround in his life against the Colts that day. I should stab everybody that played in that game. That's the only time he's ever really turned it around in a game in my life. He's a bum. He's been a bum, and it's a hard world without Justin Jefferson. Hard. The world is just hard.
Thank you.
All the freaking weapons, man.
Thank you.
They got a lot of weapons.
You're not going to get any argument on me on that one.
I was thinking the Falcons defense would be a little bit better. They had a couple good plays, I think, sack here and there, and but they just,
bum and that other bum that you drafted, Vikings, that other bum, Mike Hughes, he's a bum. Took him out the game, and then 20 in the game. He over there. They had 2 broken up deep passes where the cornerback was just not even
long touchdown pass to Justin Jefferson. I think the defender was picking dandelions over the end zone or whatever the heck he was doing there. But
no idea.
What's the name? The one to Addison too. What the fuck was you doing?
That is why Mike Hughes lasted here only 3 years. We realized it was ass cheeks and got rid of him.
You know that game? That they always talk about between when Gabe Davis went off on the Chiefs in that playoff game?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who was over there getting barbecued the whole game? Mike Hughes.
Yeah, Mike.
Well, and then we
signed another great cornerback pick by Rick Spielman. Yes. Well aware.
So obviously helmet stickers on the offense. Good old Sam Darnold. You're saying there, Rhino?
I mean, you
The
can't.
whole offense.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not going to go the whole offense because our offensive line, especially the interior of it, sucks. Garrett, I call him Bad Bay because we've determined on our show that his new nick's going to be Pallet though because he gets forklift to the third row every time he gets up against somebody in front of him. But no, I'm Darnold absolutely. I mean, 11 games this year with a QBR over 100. Never been done in Vikings history. He passed Brett Favre, he passed Dante Culpepper on Sunday doing that. 5-touchdown game from first time that's happened since 2004. And of course Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I mean they both went off, big time, 100 plus yards apiece. Got to get on the defense though too, and they came up big when they have to. They gave up far too many yards, but Byron Murphy 6th interception, and that thing was he just hand out and just snatched the damn thing.
That was crazy. Yeah,
it was nuts.
That was a beautiful interception. It was a throw by Cousins, but Pitts has shown earlier more than once that if you throw the ball at him, it hits him in the face and drops it. But yeah, so Murphy's himself into a pretty good contract next year. But I'm hoping he's here, but that remains to be seen. Josh Smith, this was interesting. Somebody had posted this back in March, right when Kirk went to Anna. Somebody posted something on Twitter about Josh Metellus intercept Kirk Cousins when we played him in December, and sure as hell what happens if it's the first turn of the game is Josh Metellus picking off Kirk Cousins. But I mean, it earlier in the season the Vikings would start off like gangbusters, and then they would kind of second half would just kind of go by the wayside. Now the last few weeks it seems like we're starting off slow, but at the end of the game just flip the switch and away they go. I mean, 21 points first quarter this week. They scored 14 against Arizona last week to come back win. So it's, Justin Jefferson said it after the game. We have yet to play a complete 4-4 game, and if when we get to that point and actually do that, then the league's on notice at that point in time.
Tell you what, I know I didn't see this coming. I picked the Vikings to maybe win 2 or 3 games, something like that. So, shout out to the coaching staff. Shout out to, these offensive players. Shout out to Darnold for what he's turned himself into. Kurt, I feel like Kevin O'Connell has made him a lot of money, Darnold a lot of money. And so whether, in the offseason they end up signing him or the Vikings are going to have definitely a decision. Obviously that's for later discussion, but the way he's playing, you could say, hey, we'll sign him for another year if McCarthy's not ready. There's a lot that to be talked about, but he's playing well. Obviously we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. And I'm sure, if there's a big letdown, everything like that, obviously that'll play into it as well. But he is playing lights out right now. And we'll talk a little bit about Bears Vikings coming up. But because
if he has a good playoffs, I think they gotta resign him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I mean? If he plays well in the playoffs,
you can't just blindly go to McCarthy without him having any experience at all.
Not if they make a deep playoff run. You can't get rid of him.
No way.
Although I don't think Rhino wants to hear this, though. I think maybe you saw that Rick Spielman suggested that they do sign him for another 3-year deal and kind of do a bridge.
Which right there tells you that you run away as fast as you can.
That's right, yes.
If Rick Spielman does something, you do the exact freaking opposite of what you do.
You don't want to keep him right now? If he has a good playoff run, you don't want to keep him?
You got to keep him.
I'm going to hold off on that discussion until we see what happens here. But I will say one thing about this, being this was the Kirk Cousins Bowl and everything else. Kevin O'Connell took Kirk Cousins from Cole's catch to Kirk O'Chains. He took Sam Darnold from seeing ghost to Darnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, it's the coaching and the system.
Okay.
I think more than anything. So,
well,
if
I think
if
that
decide to move off from Darnold at the end of the year, I'm going to let this play out before I get into that part of it. But
Fair enough.
All the
I'm all
confidence in the world that Kevin Connell can do the same JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more afraid of Darnold than I was ever of Kirk Cousins because Darnold is
Yes.
mobile. And I always said, if that Viking team ever get any type of mobile quarterback, that offense gonna be scary.
And Darnold not scared of throwing the ball. Cousins, you saw
that was the problem.
We thought for 6 fucking years when Cousins was here that he's more worried about keeping his stats up and everything else, and he's done it 2 or 3 times. He did it for us in the playoffs. 4 and 7, he throws a 3-yard pass to a tight end or a running back that has about a 0.1% chance of being successful to move the chains, and it's not, and game over. It just Kirk never had that killer instinct.
Yeah. Seventh letter, you've said obviously for a while here that Kirko is pretty fake and all that, so it just cares about the money. So hey,
he only cares about the money. He don't care nothing about winning. Nope. Nothing about winning.
I've been saying that for years too.
Nothing about winning. No. You popped your Achilles. You're 100 years old, Joe, and you need an O-line. Why you want all that money? You know what I'm saying? Take the $20 million. You already done robbed. You done robbed the Vikings for years now. You ain't got nothing but one playoff win.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying, have some self-awareness. He cares nothing about that. And he was looking for another team in the middle of the season last year.
So somebody made a joke the other day, and I thought it was kind of fitting with Cousins. Cousins is absolutely the worst mercenary in the history of the world. Paid a whole lot of money to go in and be a
lot of money to get nothing done.
Get things done. And
there's a worse mercenary, and he's in New York at this moment.
No, hey,
yes. But
I would call him a mercenary. There's other words I can call him, but I'm saying it on the air.
Oh man.
Well, speaking of a team and franchise that's not interested in winning, my Bears decided just not to show up at all. Santa Clara, and 38-13 lost to 49ers. Passing out blame. I just think it was obviously the players are going to have to step up. They're going to have to do something. They didn't. I would have thought they would have at least played a little bit harder for Thomas Brown. And so I think the biggest thing is, just trying to figure this out. I mean, Thomas Brown, fantastic play caller, kind of knows what to do with Caleb. Overall, Eberflus, I think, was a good defensive play caller. And so, when you have this other defensive guy come in, and it was just, I mean, it was just like, slicing through air. I mean, it was nothing. It was ridiculous. I literally kind of went and was doing dishes during part of the second half. I was just like, I can't stand it.
Let me ask this, Andy.
Yeah.
Did the Bears players quit in this team last week?
No, I don't think they quit. I don't think, I
mean, talking about, they had 2 yards of offense in the first half. I got more than that, 6 feet. I got more than that walking to my kitchen to get a beer.
Yeah. And it was putrid. It was horrible. I think it was just, the whole, trying to figure out, obviously, Thomas Brown was kind of used to calling plays up top, and it's just a different feel. And then when you have defensively, when you have them just slicing through the defense, that doesn't help either. And then you have to have a quarterback. You have to have an offense that tries to push the ball down the field. And just, we were behind the 8 ball so quickly. And it was just, George Kittle. I mean, you were seventh letter. You kept messaging in the group, are we going to cover tight end? Yeah. Thank you.
Ooh,
yes. 310.
Ouch, man.
It was Purdy. That defense made Purdy look like a Super Bowl MVP. It was just George Kittle is amazing, but it was just
he wasn't amazing. He was open. wide open.
Yes, exactly. And I think that was a problem. So the new defensive coordinator, Washington, just everybody settling into their roles. So it'll be really interesting to see how it goes this week. I mean, the seventh letter, obviously you're rooting for Thomas Brown. I'm rooting for Thomas Brown, for what he's done with Caleb Williams.
Yo. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna exercise that team. All right. I'm cutting a couple people. Hold on. I wrote them down.
All right. Okay.
Number one, I'm cutting Jonathan Owens. Number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number one, you gotta go. You're a bum. Go home to your beautiful Olympic winning wife, but you gotta get the fuck off my team. You're losing 38-13. You get a pick and want to celebrate.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen has
You
to
got to
go.
get out.
Keenan Allen got to go because his whack juice and selfishness is rubbing off on Roma Doomsday. You're down 31-12. What are you dancing for? Okay, he got to go. Fat nose, Emmons, he got to go. He has to go.
He's one of our best linebackers, though.
I cut it from. No, he's not. He's soft.
I'm not saying he's not
soft.
Hang on.
Hold on, though.
I'm not saying he's not soft. He just is one of our best linebackers, unfortunately.
But what's one of the best linebackers on one of the worst teams?
See, we're not that bad. Come on.
No.
You get what?
What's the name?
Wins.
The only person. It seemed like
we're that close to having 7 wins.
The only person that cares
8 wins.
Is the youngest person. Is the 23-year-old quarterback. He the only one that cares. Yes. Nobody else cares. Him and T.J. Edwards. T.J. Edwards because T.J. Edwards was still playing. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Johnson, I can save him.
Thank you, Janzy. Yes.
DJ Moore, since you just paid him, you can't get rid of him. But here's another one. When he walked off the field a couple weeks ago, like, yo, what you doing? They just paid you $1 billion. What are you doing, bro? And then you rubbing off, and then you're giving bad habits to your young first-round receiver. Where he out there dancing and y'all losing 31-12? Yo, that was selfish.
Yeah, that's why I was.
Do that to that black coach. You bugging.
Especially, I think how that was the big thing. Everyone's like, Jalen Johnson. These players went off on Eberflus in the locker room. Even who was the lineman that went off in the locker room? They went off on him and basically said he needs to go. He needs to go. Tevin Jenkins basically told him to his face, he needs to go. And so all these
but he's gone now. So now that they got Thomas Brown, like what now?
You gonna blame now?
To go. And now it's like, who do you blame now? So that's going to be the thing. Like the rest of this season, are these veterans, are they going to step up? Are they going to say, okay, we went out to San Francisco and obviously it's a long trip. Number one, it was a long week, right? I think anytime you've had a long week at work, there's a lot of stress, right? And so now you settle in. This Vikings game, I think is going to be telling to see, who's going to be here next year. Obviously, coach-wise, but even player-wise. What's that?
No Nick Bosa, 7 sacks. Like, your defense, your offensive line not even competing.
No,
you ain't that bad. You ain't that bad, bro.
I agree. I agree.
And that was why I asked the question on whether or not the players quit because it like they did.
They ain't come to play at all.
I think it seemed like once Flus was gone, it's just like, I mean, we're gonna go through the mold.
That's why the Vikings are going to beat the shit out of you this week. Because the Packers went in there and beat that same bullshit defense 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying?
Jefferson had like 140 yards against them when they were trying. So
come on, man.
Well, let's get right into that then. How about we do that? All right. So week 15 keys, Chicago Bears at the Vikings. The Vikings are 7-point favorites. Obviously, it's in Minneapolis. 43.5. All right. Rhino, give us your keys as quick as you can here. And then I'm going to give you my keys to the Bears winning versus the Vikings.
I mean,
goodness, let's go.
Number one, it starts with keeping Caleb Williams contained in the pocket. Mm-hmm. Last time we let him run around way too much, and he was able to make some off of it. Got to get home with pass rush. The pass rush has slowed down for us the last couple of weeks. We've been getting close. We're just not getting there because I think a lot of teams have made the adjustment of trying to get the ball a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can't get pressure poses the back end, especially if Gilmore's can't play this week. Byron Murphy's done a great job, but he's the corner. He's best suited in there. He's not out, not an outside corner. Gilmore, like I said, I haven't heard whether or not he'll play yet this week. They were optimistic about it, but and on the offensive thing, get the run game going. Aaron Jones has had 100 against you guys last time.
Do it again.
Get that run going, then the play action works, and got Jefferson and Addison, who have been on fire the last couple of weeks, going up over the top. You've got, and when they start pulling the stuff deep, got Hawkinson and Josh Oliver's back now and across the middle. So it opened all of that up if you can get one going, and then again, just the basic end. Don't shoot yourself in the foot with stupid penalty. Hold on to the damn ball. And we do that. Plus, we've got those awesome Winter Warrior uniforms going on this week. The whites with the white helmets. So first time in here, the Vikings have wore anything other than purple helmets. So
all right, obviously,
okay.
Obviously, everything is pointing to the Vikings beating the Bears. I get it. Monday Night Football, right? The last time that I can remember, 15 years ago, the Bears were playing on Monday night, and it was a special night for me. Actually, it was the night my son was born, and the Adrian Peterson rode into town, and the Vikings were supposed to destroy the Bears. What happened? My Bears won. My Bears against all odds.
15 years
everything.
Ago, we had Christian Ponder at quarterback too.
Hey,
Exactly.
I could have been a quarterback, and I could have won because that's how good Adrian Peterson is. Everybody's saying the Vikings are going to win. They're 10-2. I still, and I'm going to say this because I am still not sold on Darnold. Okay. I think when you look at push comes to shove, with the talent that the Bears have, they are better than this 4-9 record. And when we settle into, Thomas Brown calling some more plays, it's just San Francisco matchup wise, it just we did not match up well against them, especially with how good George Kittle is. We did not match up well.
Got one good player.
Match up.
Had no McCaffrey.
We match up very well with these Vikings. What happened last time? How many catches did Justin Jefferson have last time versus the Bears? He had 2 for, count them, 27 yards. 2 catches for 27 yards versus the Bears in 30-27.
Was that last season?
Jordan Addison
that was this season.
Addison went
Jordan Addison had 162 yards, touchdown.
Exactly. That was the Jordan Addison breakout game. So that's the thing. You shut down Jefferson. You got Addison on the other side.
Hawkinson too. Hawkinson had 100.
Yeah. So we weren't at full strength on defense.
So wait. But Andy, you're saying you match up well because last time Jordan
we match up better now. Jalen Johnson was able to shut down Jefferson. Here's what I think is going to happen.
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
2 catches for 27 yards.
That wasn't just one. They cloud
the rest of the story.
Okay, the Bears shut him down. Okay, two catches, 27 yards. Okay, we shut him down.
But if Jair
Alexander did shut him down,
you plugged one leak and 3 sprung loose.
All right, well I'm building my case. I'm getting there. All right. Man. So when you look at what the Bears were able to do with Justin Jefferson, here's what I think is going to happen. I think Sam Darnold is going to press a little bit too much. He's going to try to force the ball into Justin Jefferson to get him his yards. And that is why I think that's going to be the mistake that that's why Sam Darnold is been a journeyman quarterback. He's been on so many different teams because it's been the up and down. And I think he's going to kind of try to press a little bit. He's trying to get Justin Jefferson his yards. And I think that's when he's going to make the mistakes. And that's why the 3 interceptions that I'm coming up with. And I'm going to say it's going to be a
man, Aaron Jones had 100 yards too. Man, get the fuck
27. It's going to be a 27-24 Bears win this time regulation. In regulation. Hey, I'm giving you the stats here. Caleb Williams, he rushed for 30
You're not
yards.
saying anything about Jordan Addison's 162 yards, TJ Hawk 100 yards, and Aaron Jones over 100 yards.
Okay,
three guys go 1,000 yards against you guys.
correct, but that's
He
the thing.
plugged one hole and 3 busted loose.
Right,
That's
right.
what
Yes,
happened.
but when Darnold
like
tries to
it's
force
like
the
trying to stick
ball
your thumb
into
into a little
Jefferson,
river. Stop
that's
it.
going to be the problem. He's going to try to force the and Caleb Williams had
Darnold
340
learned-
yards
Dar-
and 2 touchdowns
I will give
versus
you
that
earlier in the
defense.
season,
340
Arnold
yards.
to force the ball to Jefferson too much. That Jacksonville game was prime example with the 3 interceptions. After that game, they went back. They worked on it. And since then, Jordan Addison has just skyrocketed. Now Darnold is realizing I don't have to just throw it to Justin Jefferson. I've got other guys that I can throw the ball to, and if they're covering Jefferson, these guys are probably open.
Yes.
Darnold is Darnold still. So
that's what made the Vikings kind of easier to beat when it was Kirk Cousins there, because we know he's gonna force the ball to Justin Jefferson. Let Justin Jefferson do what he do, keep him out the end zone, and just lock everybody else up, and that's what keep the game. He used to have 200 yards on us every game.
Caleb Williams, I think he's starting to come into his own as a leadership, and I think this full week now, kind of obviously the new coaching staff and just kind of getting things all settling in and doing what they do. Caleb is a playmaker. 6 rushes for 33 yards. He's starting to kind of do obviously some of the things that my boy Justin Fields did, but then also keep his eyes down the field for the extra play. And so obviously I'm worried about some of the extra sacks, things like that, but just what he was able to do in that comeback. I mean, he's kind of proven to himself and the team that he can lead when it matters.
From the locker room?
Yo, he said extra sacks. Yo, he got sacked 50 times already. That's more than extra.
You're going to attack that secondary.
He's borderline historic, man.
Caleb's going to have another 300-yard passing game,
package,
and Caleb is going to lead the Bears to victory. We're so close, and we got this one.
The last time I remember a quarterback under siege like this was like David Carr with the Houston Texans.
Who all those sacks ruined.
Yep.
So I get it. So is everybody else? Are you picking the Vikings then, Miles?
Yeah, I'm picking the Vikings. I'm still honoring Rev Trev. I cannot pick the Bears, but
right.
even a smart man can't pick the Bears in this matchup. You
All
guys are in a world of hurt right now. And here, I'll give you a little bit, Andy, a little bit of due.
Yeah.
The Bears definitely had the ability at one point to be better than a 4-9 team. You know, you go to overtime with the Vikings. You know, you play the Packers close. You play the Lions close. You're playing good teams close, but you also have gotten your butts whooped in a few games, like more than one.
Yeah.
And now Janzi nailed it. The lack of direction is higher than ever, right? Like the lack of direction I think that's just something that a team cannot overcome. And that's just where I see it. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and the NFL is weird. So could I see the Bears winning this game in some weird way? Yes, I could. I really could, because the NFL works that way. Just as soon as you think somebody can't win a game, they turn around and they win that game. But no, I can't pick the Bears to win this game. I think they're going to lose by 2 scores.
7th letter. What about you?
All right, so I don't think they'll lose by 2 scores because I think it's a little bit easier for the coaching staff this week, given it's a division game.
Oh,
right?
so we match
Division
up better.
game. Yep.
So you're saying
Yeah.
the same thing. We match up better. All right.
No, I'm not saying that you're gonna win. I'm saying that you guys
familiarity.
obviously last week, like whatever the 49ers, they figured y'all out quick. So I imagine that you guys have played, so a familiar opponent. You already played them once. I don't think that you'll move all those resources to Justin Jefferson this time. So I predict a better game from him this week, because the last time it didn't necessarily work. Even when you guys were winning, when the Vikings needed it to win, they went down there and got the win. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a fluke. It wasn't like a block field goal to nothing. Whenever they needed it, they went and got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I can see the game. It won't be like against San Fran, because San Fran y'all didn't necessarily come to play, to be honest.
So, Seventh Letter, you kind of in a way just said that the Vikings are better than the Lions. I mean, kind of, because
no, we're gonna beat the shit out of y'all next time.
but the Bears basically
honestly, like the fumble kept you alive. You know what I'm saying?
Had the
and
Lions,
there's value. Eberflus has value, just like Robert Saleh had value with the Jets.
Yeah.
See, the Jets have another defense. I actually just met Reed and number 35 yesterday at the hospital. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Like, and I had my Lions shit on. They like, damn, I really like how y'all play. I'm like, you better than what they do, and they put you on Tyreek. You know what I'm saying? And, one-on-one, that was kind of wild. But anyway, I'm saying that we kept y'all in the game, and we were very hurt in the secondary. So I knew it would be tougher for us. But now everybody coming back. So the next time we play y'all, we gonna really beat the brakes off y'all. It's gonna be worse the first time, and we're not gonna let you come back. No, it's gonna be worse. It's really gonna be worse next time.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing I heard before last game. But hey, I mean,
no. It's gonna be wild. I'm telling you, right? But I'm not talking about that now. The Vikings aren't better than us. You know what I mean? Because they got one thing that, one thing we had that they don't have. You know what I'm saying? And that's, a run game, like a real offensive line, and we know how to attack Flores's deep. Like Ben Johnson got Flores's number, always has. So I'm not really.
That's a real thing.
I'm not really worried about that.
You're
gonna lose.
I'm not gonna argue
on that. Lose by 7. You know what I'm saying? But it's not gonna be necessarily close as you think it's gonna be. I think Justin Jefferson will have a big game. It's not going to be like before, because I think they realized, like, we can't just take him out the game, because everybody else eating now, and Sam Darnold is more competent than they even realize. So, and also the loss of Eberflus is why you're going to lose, because one thing your defense had was red zone defense, and all of a sudden, what the fuck happened last week? The fourth running back is doing you now, like scoring on you, walking in, like, come on, man. Disrespectful, man. Disrespectful, yo. I hate the 49ers too. I want them in the playoffs, but I kind of don't.
Nah, we can do without them in this round of the playoffs.
I mean, speaking of team, I feel like the 49ers are always kind of beating the Packers. So let's move on to the Packers. And they're going to Seattle, 3-point favorites here. And actually, shout out to RevTrev. He's actually going to this game.
Yeah.
The Reverend.
Wait, Andy, you might have muted yourself. Did I lose you there? Am I the one?
Can
y'all hear?
We lost your sound, Andy.
All right, I think I'm back.
Here we go.
So, shout out to Trev. He's going to be at that game at Seattle. That's definitely a place I'd like to go see a game. Obviously, I prefer not to watch the Packers, but give us some keys to the Packers beating Seattle. I mean, Seattle's pretty tough.
Seattle is tough. The Packers are getting some guys back, though. We're starting to get a little bit more healthy, too. Musgrave is practicing. Dobbs is practicing. Alexander's practicing. Alexander's not even on the injury report this week, so that's a good sign. And that was something that I was worried about, and I think, there's no secret that the Packers DBs are a little beat up. Janzy says Cooper back. I don't believe Cooper is back yet. But
Adrian Cooper, yep.
Yeah, I'd have to double check that, because there might have been a fresh report on that today that I didn't catch. But so getting healthy at the right time and having Alexander back at corner is a big deal. But I mean, the Seahawks have talent, man. Like this is a game that I think could be, easy to sort of be like, they're not as good. You should win this game, but they look like a tough team. As far as keys to the game, I'm excited to see if Musgrave plays. If Musgrave can play, and you got Musgrave and Watson pushing the back end of that defense, you're going to open things up big time underneath for Reed, Dobbs, Wicks, even Jacobs, whether he's running the ball or catching the ball. So that's what I'm really looking for, is to spread that defense out. They've got good safeties. They're a good team. They don't really have like really bad holes anywhere. But they don't seem overwhelming. It doesn't seem like a team like in the past. The Seahawks were just sort of an intimidating team. It's like, dang, like how do you beat these guys? Every level of their defense was top notch. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking for the Packers to keep them honest deep, make them honor you down the field and spread things out to open up the run underneath, open up the passing in the middle of the field. And then on defense, just keep taking steps forward. I mean, one thing I've been talking about on our podcast is Halfley's system and how these guys are adapting to it every week. There's a little bit more cohesion. It seems like. I think guys are starting to figure out their roles a little bit better. Van Ness is starting to play well since Preston Smith was traded. So what I'm looking for here is you really need the pass rush to come alive in this one. Mm-hmm. Shorten that clock for the DBs since you're still beat up a little bit in the secondary. And they've got some talented receivers. You don't want to be on an island with those guys for too long. So the pass rush, I think, is key in this game. And the Packers' run defense has been playing well the last few weeks, so they got to keep that up. But as far as just keys, the pass rush really needs to come alive. So I like that 24-21 prediction. I'm probably somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't think this is a super high scoring game. I might even go, I don't know, like 27-24. Packers win, but it's a tough game. Going and playing in Seattle is going to be tough. I don't take this for granted. I think the Packers definitely could get a gut check in this game and find a way to lose it. But this season they've handled adversity very well, and in these tight games, as you well know, Andy, they've found a way to win and not lose. Losers find a way to lose. Winners find a way to win, man. That's all. So I think they find a way to win this game.
Yeah, that's fair. Obviously, yeah. I mean, you touched on all the points. I mean, Josh Jacobs, huge. Seahawks are allowing 5 yards per carry between the tackles. So
that bodes well.
When you talk about
tell your coach to run it then. You know what I mean? Because all you got to do is get him mad before the game, and he'll just try to throw it all the time on you. So make sure he run it and don't give up.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I'm going to let Seventh Letter. What's your pick for this game, and then I'll pick mine last.
All right, I don't trust Geno Smith, but with the injuries in your secondary. I'm sorry, my boy Gibbs knocked 33 out, gave him a concussion. They keep trying
he might make it back. I think he was practicing. He might make it back.
All right, so if he come back, and what about the other one, the other rookie that got hurt?
No, that's Bullard. I believe he's out.
All right, so there's another injury to the secondary. So it's y'all haven't really beat them there, and historically with the Packers, the people that they can't beat, they still can't beat. So, the Packers should win, but I can easily see, because y'all have trouble against the run too. And although they don't have Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet was out there showing his ass last week. So, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
Okay.
24-21.
24-21. Okay. What about you, Rhino?
I think probably a toss-up game there's going to be this week. Going into Seattle's a tough play. I mean, we've had issues in the past. Green Bay's had issues there in the past. But it all boils down to what can, if they can run the ball, then I think Green Bay stands a good chance. I mean, Cubs should have some success in there if they run it to 7th point. Don't get away from it and just start trying to throw the ball all over the field. Seattle's just a weird team. I mean, when you don't think they're, think the wheels are starting to come up, and all of a sudden they turn around and they slap the snot out of somebody. And then when you think they're starting to turn it around and get it all together, then they throw a stink. So it all depends on what Seattle team shows at play here too. But I mean, if this was in Green Bay, I would say Green Bay without a doubt.
Right.
Wins
The
this
Lambeau
game,
calls,
but,
yeah,
Feel a
absolutely.
lot more confident.
Lambeau refs.
I think as it sits, I'm gonna go 24-20 Seattle.
Okay, you're going Seattle too. Okay, yeah. I mean, when you look at it, obviously, Seattle's had some just really weird games. They lost to the Giants 29-20. Obviously, the Lions beat them. They lost to Buffalo, lost to the Rams. The Rams are looking better and better, as they get further on in the season.
They're on a 4-game winning streak, and they got Leonard Williams back. Rankins is back, so I think that'll kind of shore up the running attack a little more too, because they were hurt. So that's why the yards per tote look a little funny, because those two guys were hurt. Now they're back, and Leonard Williams is having his best year. He looking like
he scored last week. He's a beast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they also have they're not like superstar cornerbacks, but their corners are good there. They got a defensive coach, and they starting to play well on defense too, picking off shit and all that. So that's why
the Rams scared a little bit, but now with the way the NFC West is, the only NFC West team probably is going to make it is if they win the division, because they're all sitting around 500. But
right.
Yeah, so this means a lot. I think on the road, I do think the Seattle is going to be tough. When you talk about Geno Smith, another reclamation project. I mean, he's kind of been quietly sneaky good this year. Obviously I'll take him with what Seattle's done this year. Obviously, they got some maybe iffy wins on the schedule. But I think they beat the Packers. It is Sunday Night Football, and I think it's going to be the Packers, I think, are getting more credit than they should. I think it's going to be 31-21 Seattle this week. I just think that they are going to handle the Packers overall, and the Packers aren't going to have enough, kind of come back. So I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks on this one. No surprise.
I hear that wishful thinking in your voice.
All your picks will be blowouts. Like he said, 31-21. Damn.
31-21. Yeah. Seattle at home. Oh, yeah. Janzi.
I love being a dog. Let's go.
Love deals fine. People overact these quarterback contract. Easy to manipulate. Absolutely. And I mean, that's part of it.
Unless it's a Kirk's contract where all the money's guaranteed, then you can't manipulate it.
Kirk's contract was dog. Like that's what.
Tell me about it. I know.
Well, speaking of the opposite of that, this is potentially a Super Bowl preview. People are saying Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. When you look at the Bills, had a shootout loss to the Rams this past week, and maybe they're a little bit beat up from that game. But you got to look at when we talk about MVPs. Josh Allen. I mean, with what he's lost offensively, no Diggs, he doesn't have much there offensively, but he's putting up numbers, and obviously their offense coordinator is really showing he can do something as well. So I mean, but when you look at this seventh letter, give us the keys to the Lions, the shorthanded Lions, beat up Lions.
No.
Oh. Right. Healed Lions.
Josh Pascal went to practice today.
Okay.
Jay Reader practiced today. Levi Onwuzurike practiced today. So people coming back.
All right. So maybe that's part of the key.
If I got my horses, this should be, because I don't know. I mean, Josh Allen played his ass off last week.
Yeah.
But one man ain't gonna beat us. It's not that. Our corners is better than the Rams. Our defensive line is better than the Rams. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be a 44-42 game. That's not happening. So I'm telling you right now, I was kind of delighted at the fact that they kept running the ball on them, and my offensive line again is better than the Rams. So it's like, if they can't stop that run, Like teams like I look at the Eagles, like they sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they got all these players, but they can't like Carolina was running the ball on them. You know what I'm saying? Like if we run the ball, it's over. It's over. Like you can't beat us if we can run. If you can shut us down and Jared Goff gotta win the game, then you got a chance. But if we running, you can't. I don't think nobody can beat us if the run game working. So I don't think it's Buffalo Bills. I don't think they can go to Super Bowl. You can't go with one man. They don't have enough offense. They just don't. They don't.
Yeah. And defensively, they don't either, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just don't think so.
Does Dan Campbell ride with this team to games?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about all that.
I don't think they would have enough room for the balls that he has.
He's stacked. You ain't lying.
Like
he got some. Yo, I put
shows
up
in a dump truck.
He's a nut. He's a nut. But we exercising demons, man. We all the people that we couldn't beat, we beating now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we finally got the Hawks out of here. We're gonna get them out. We're gonna get
blowing people out too when you need to. So this could be a statement game. Obviously, even more so for the Lions. You're at home. This could be a huge. I don't know. I mean, so I'm thinking actually the Lions are going to win here. It's going to be a 35-21 Lions.
I'm liking that. I'm liking that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a little closer. Like Josh Allen is truly the MVP. Him and Saquon Barkley is truly the MVP. It's a two-man race. Like
yeah.
So he'll keep it close, but I just think that they don't have enough talent on offense to beat us. Like they go through the run game. We can stop the run. So if it's just him throwing and making one-dimensional, I think that we should bowl pretty well. So it'll be like 20, like a 31-21 game. Like it's not going to be. It's not. They're not going. I don't think they could beat us. To be honest, personally.
Rhino, what do you think? Do you think the Bills have enough to beat the Lions this week?
I mean, I think Josh Allen is better now that he doesn't have Von Diggs. You know, the guy sitting in there demanding all. He's spreading the ball around. He's not forcing it. And they have a bunch of lunch guys at wide receivers. I mean, there's no superstars in there. James Cook is a hell of a running back. I think this has potential to be a kind of a track meet between the two. The only thing that would maybe keep it from being that track meet is if both teams get the run game going and then it slugs everything down. But Detroit's going to drop game at some point in time. I don't think they're going to completely run the table. And I've had this game penciled as that potential game where Detroit could stub their toe in this one. I think it's good, but I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. I'm not going to put it past Detroit because, like we just talked about Campbell carries his balls in the truck. But I'm going to go. I'm going to go pretty high scoring game. I'm going to go 38-35, but Buffalo pull to win.
Oh, Buffalo. Okay. All right. Miles, what about you?
Yeah, I think I'm just on the other side of that. I do think that this has a chance to be a little bit of a track meet. There's some Lions injuries coming back, so maybe they can hold up the Bills a little bit. But you mentioned it. Josh Allen's the MVP. He's throwing the ball well, but he's also running the ball well. He's got 9 rushing touchdowns and 416 yards. I mean, he's something you have to contend with on the ground, which can be a real pain.
And he's like a linebacker running at you. So
yeah. And when you're trying to get off the field on third downs and that guy can tuck it for 5 yards on you, that's tough. That's a really tough one to deal with. But I do think the Lions handle business here because I think the NFC is better than the AFC this year. And I think the Bills are probably one of the best in the AFC. So yeah, I'm thinking 38-31 Lions.
Yeah. I mean, we're all picking the Lions to score some points here, right? So, I mean, for sure. Offensively, yeah.
I'll take it. Go Lions.
Well, one shout out, obviously, 7:30, you talked about kind of leukemia brought up with your son, obviously, continued thoughts and prayers with him, right? And One other shout out as well. It came out this week. Shout out to former Vikings great Randy Moss battling liver cancer. What's that?
That's not been confirmed yet.
Oh, it hasn't been.
So it's eyes. So it's
Ray
eyes.
Fitzgerald Sr. heard a rumor about it at some function last night, and he ran with it. Thaddeus, or Moss's kid Thaddeus Moss came out on social media this morning and then blasted Fitzgerald.
Okay.
Said, this ain't true. My dad will tell everybody what's going on. He's ready on his time, but that's not the case.
Okay, that's good to hear too.
And then Brett Favre had put out his best wishes to Ray too, and Moss came back and he said, no, this isn't true. But when Randy's ready, he will address it, he said.
Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine, being a public figure like that and whatever is going on, I mean, having to, try to deal with it, in a private setting, but everybody kind of wanted to find out.
The worst part about that, and this annoys me more than with all media, it seems like now it's more important to get the scoop and get it right.
Yeah.
Well, Jan Z saying prayers for your son's 7th letter as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
No, it is interesting. You brought up kind of being the fastest with the news and stuff. And I'm not sure if all of you know this, but the reason I had chosen NFL Outdated when I started my Twitter is just kind of being poking at the latest news and actually being outdated news. I would tweet during the draft that Brett Favre was just drafted during the, whatever the latest 2023 draft. So because everybody wants to get the latest news and I was all about being outdated news. So that's how I became NFL Outdated. So
that's funny, man. I like that.
Yeah. So I was trying to make myself laugh and I did. So there you go. And
you deliver the laughs plenty. Don't worry about that.
I try. Hopefully my Bears can start delivering some W's because it has just been brutal. I don't want to have to sit through a Monday night game and just I want to at least have it close and at least have a chance. We'll see.
What's up? Question before we go.
Yeah.
Want to keep Ryan Poles?
I do.
Really?
So that's a great question. So I do. Some of the moves that he's made. I like what he's done. Obviously, he's made some mistakes. All GMs make those mistakes. I think the problem might be is there's rumors that he might not want to stay. He's kind of being a little bit neutered, with Kevin Warren, coming in, and so that
Kevin Warren is a problem for you guys.
Yeah. So
Ruh-roh.
So there could be a lot of drama there, and just power struggle. Kind of Kevin Warren, wanted to take control, and so that'll be interesting. But I do want to keep Poles head and shoulders, and this isn't saying much, but it's head and shoulders better than the previous Ryan GM that we had. But yes, I do want to keep Poles. You make a bad choice with the head coach Eberflus, and he had good intention this year keeping him. The intention was to continue to have continuity for a young quarterback. That was the intention.
That don't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense.
Not if it's bad. If something's bad, you don't want to.
I agree, but he had a new beard. Come on.
But especially when it came out here that Harbaugh wanted to come be the head coach in Chicago, and he's no, we're going to keep Eberflus. So Harbaugh went to.
I'm not really. Yes, that's true. I'm still not 100% sold on Harbaugh being the right fit in Chicago.
What?
I mean that's no. I mean he maybe had wanted to. I think that would have been. There was a lot of mending that would have to have happened from.
Listen, if Harbaugh would have got his hands on the offense that you got, number one, you probably wouldn't have Roma Dunze, but you'll have a left tackle.
He'd have drafted him some tackle.
Yeah,
there weren't any left tackles available. There weren't any left. At that time.
I'm sure there was a tackle. He would have bought a tackle.
It was.
He would have got a tackle.
He
would have got a tackle. Your offensive line would have been the last of your problem. Look what he's doing out there with I look at some of the people.
Yeah, that's
that
fair.
Herbert is throwing the ball to. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's
Well,
crazy.
did y'all hear his comment about the O-line?
Who's
Harbaugh's comment? Harbaugh's comment. He said the O-line is the only position in football that doesn't rely on anybody else to be good or like to do their job.
Word.
Mhm.
Word.
It's
Yeah.
like that's
He's
why
not-
you
he is
build the
not wrong.
O-line and you build everything
Yeah.
else around the O-line.
Yeah.
Shit,
And
why do you think we good?
well, exactly. Y'all have
You know?
Took
definitely one of the
time,
best
though.
lines in the
It
league.
took time. I think that's the problem, is especially as fans, we don't want it to take time. Obviously, as a Bears
It takes
fan,
longer when you don't address it.
Bro,
Exactly.
how long?
Yeah, right.
He's been there for 3 years. He's never drafted an offensive line in the first round. Oh, he did actually. He drafted
he
the
did.
right
Yeah.
tackle.
Yes.
He should have drafted, but you should have. But that's been a problem for y'all since Justin Fields. was the
Absolutely.
O-line.
And so it's taken some time. I think you give him this offseason. You got it. And that is a problem. Obviously, talk about mismatch GM, mismatch coaches, all that stuff. I mean, I think he gets a chance whether he wants it. Poles might say, "Hey, peace, I'm out. Let Kevin Warren have it." Then again, I think I like Cunningham, who's the associate GM. I like kind of what he's done. So who knows? Who knows? I am still in Poles we trust, and I am obviously in Caleb we trust. And I think it starts this week. It starts this week with the Bears beating the Vikings.
Jesus.
You're gonna need an O-line, man, at some point.
Yeah,
You gotta have an
absolutely.
O-line.
Absolutely. And that's absolutely going to happen in Green Bay. In April, we are going to choose a lineman that's going to lead us to the Super Bowl in 2025
Oh, boy.
Wow. 1 year.
season. So, yeah,
Oof. I admire your resilience, sir.
All right.
every single week I've got to hopefully it will be with the win this week. So a great show, guys. Definitely appreciate everyone in the comments. Janzi, I'm afraid of another bad season. Polls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And he may even get fired this offseason. All that's still on the table. It is exactly. That's the hard thing. You talk about continuity. The idea is good. Continuity. You all were right though, that if it's bad continuity, it's not good. And that it's just, that's been the hard thing as far as ownership and everything. We just can't get it all straight. And so
Part of the problem is they hire everything off of sync from each other. The quarterback, the head, and the general manager are off sync.
True.
So fire one, they bring in another one that doesn't work. So then they get rid of the second guy and bring in one that doesn't work to get the third guy. So you're in that constant state of not
like Fields
aligned.
wasn't Poles guy and
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that. Like that.
So
Yep.
So here's the thing too, and I did hear Chicago radio was, in the lead up to the Vikings game was talking well about the Vikings, front office and just how they're all in sync, right? You have a coach and you have a GM, and they're all drafting people that are going to fit Kevin O'Connell, right? And I think, that's what the Bears have not had, and so it's taking time. Yes, you're absolutely right. Offensive line, but the cupboard was pretty bare from what Ryan Pace had done with this roster. Just paying the quarterbacks he did pay. It didn't make sense. And so it's going to take time. We've had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. We got to see if we're going to pay Tevin Jenkins in the offseason. I don't know if we do. He might have to be, they might have to get rid of him. Have to spend that money on offensive line, have to draft the offensive line. But right now we're seeing anybody that says Caleb Williams is a bust is not watching. He is the real deal. He's doing it with coaches that are just not quite up to par. And it sucks being in a division when you have 3 head coaches that are in the conversation for Coach of the Year.
Well, that's your fault, and we told you last year.
We told you so.
He told me that.
But you love those cargo pants and that beard.
Well,
Hey, man,
this is
hits.
the
All
hits
right.
principle. Well,
The ball.
it always hits every time I have all you guys on, so I appreciate that. Everyone, lots of great comments tonight. Where can everyone find you as we close out, Rhino?
Vikings Uncensored on Facebook and YouTube. So this weekend, Saturday, we got a late night show coming 9:30. Then Monday nights, I'm on with my solo show at 7 p.m. and also on Twitter X at Vikes Uncensored.
Are you going to be on live during the game?
No, not be this week. This week I'm going to wait until Tuesday so we can
Smart.
do the post game wrap because I don't want to be distracted from the game. So
I mean, the Bears it'll be over. The Bears will be winning by halftime anyway. So
well, that's okay. We're a second team. So
where can everyone find you, Miles, as we close out?
Yes, Monday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central, live streaming on YouTube, Twix, I think Facebook too. Pack Weekly Pod. Come hang out. Rivals welcome. Love a little trash talk in the comments. We're just getting into some Packers talk every week, covering these games. Come have some fun.
All good stuff. All good stuff. You can find me on NFLOutdated on YouTube, on Twitter, X, and you can also find us on Freezin #4 Pod on TikTok. And a lot of great stuff from this show that hopefully eventually will find its way to TikTok. A lot of great stuff. So seventh letter, speaking of great stuff, where can everyone find you, sir, as we finish out?
Brandon Holiday Cheer. 7th letter 4, Twitter X, same OG, Instagram and Facebook. Still on top of that NFC North. Swept the Packers. You know.
Touche.
All good stuff, guys. Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 115, week 14 review, week 15 previews. Let's go. Lots of stuff this week, and bear down.
Go, Pack, go.
Skull Vikes.
I have a good night, man. Pleasure to see you guys.
All right.
See you guys.
Always
You
good
too.
seeing you guys.